Without further ado, welcome to the 94 by 50 podcast. I'm your host again, Ilya Kurbanov. Alongside me, joined by Kasheem Thomas. For those who don't know, two-time All-Canadian in CCAA, former Cleveland State Viking, played in the NCAA, was the guard for the Vikes out in Ohio, has done a number of things in basketball, playing AAU for Brookwood Elite, and he part of Adidas Gauntlet and all kinds of other things. I'll let Kash actually speak for himself since that's the reason why we got him here. How you doing today, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm good. How you doing, bro?
You know what? Since I last saw you, nothing really changed. Just the cities.
Hey, I
Just the
appreciate
cities.
you for bringing me on this thing, but also I want to pay my respects. You've been grinding, your
Uh,
whole life. You went to Nova Scotia, got your degree there, traveled across the country to Vancouver. So, hey, that's a big risk, and you did it, bro. You did it. You just got to keep it up, keep going, and keep doing your thing, bro.
yeah, I appreciate it for all that. It means a lot to me considering you've been Montreal, Halifax, Vancouver now, trying to conquer a little bit of everywhere. But dude,
hmm
it really has been a journey, to say the least. But
That's what this is
how's
about.
how's everything with you, man? How's that Achilles going?
Man, everything is good. The Achilles is feeling better, like I'm
Yeah.
running and stuff like that. I'm still doing my rehab, but like it's crazy. You tear your Achilles, like I didn't get any injuries in college, I tear my Achilles and it's the worst injury ever. You can't really do anything, right? So a whole year not moving, it was tough, mentally draining, physically draining as well, but yeah, I'm back. I played ball last week. I felt a little good, so trying to get back into it, bro.
Hey man, I'm glad the rehab is going well. It sucks, like you said. Achilles is one of the worst injuries. A lot of players don't come back the same afterwards. Um, you know, the only player that I know of is KD. You
KD,
know,
yeah.
KD is the only one that I can look at. Yeah, this guy is back like he never left, but not everyone's got the resources, the financial situation, and all the resources that they get from the NBA facilities and rehab centers and stuff like that. But we do
Exactly.
with we do the best with what we have. But
Exactly.
let's dive into your life a little bit, the
For sure, for
basketball and
sure.
how things were for you being
Yeah.
a two-time All-Canadian at Champlain. Shout out to the Cavaliers family. Um, what was the journey like? First, you were undersized guard for the majority of your life, coming up in the Dawson community team with the Blues. What was it like being in that situation where you really had to prove that not only you were tougher and better, but you really had to do the double the work compared to some other guys that we've seen come out of Quebec, historically.
It's crazy that you say like undersized guard and having to do twice the work as the bigger guards, Like I remember playing for Dawson Blues and I didn't get recruited to Champlain until like midway through my senior year. I only got recruited to Edward and John Abbott. Dawson didn't recruit me, Vanier didn't recruit me. Like they weren't really showing me love, but I remember they came to see Nicky Noble, our former teammate at Champlain, and Craig Norman came and I played good, and that's where he's like, I think you should come for a visit at Champlain, and he stuck his hand out and like committed to Champlain, and that's how it got everything rolling. So coming in as a freshman, I just wanted to be a sponge. I just wanted to listen to my coaches and work as hard as I could possibly work because I don't know what to expect. I never played high ball like that. So, like as a freshman, I just want to work hard as hell. And that's what I did. And, I kind of got lucky in certain situations, but, I took full advantage of it.
You know, Talking about taking full advantage of the situation, you were in a position where obviously Craig Norman takes a new position going to Bishops, and Dan Martin becomes the head coach. He still trusted you being the number one guard on the team after obviously Alex Paquin obviously graduated and went on to play at the American. But what was it like? Not only first Craig Norman took you in as like, I think there's something special, but then the rest of the coaching staff and the program really trusting you to become and develop into the player you ought to be.
I think it's important that, your point guard and the coaching staff gets, that good relationship because like you said, he trusted me to take the team forward. And, that's what I did, over the years. But like we are grinding. Like you remember, we are grinding all summer long, fall, winter, we are grinding. And, Dan is a good coach. He lets you figure figure it out on your own. He doesn't baby you. He wants you to learn from your mistakes and just do better the next time coming. So, you know, we all build a great relationship with Dan, and like we had some good players. So it just made, our job easy as a team. We had TJ, we had Nikki Noble, Nikita, Mitch Keaton. We had JJ Joani. So we had a bunch of good players, just to name a few. I know there's a bunch. We had a bunch of good players, and playing with those people is just easy. Like we all knew each other, we all knew our strengths, our weaknesses, and stuff like that. And before you know it, we ended up going to the finals, the nationals, and that's a whole different experience that we're going to talk about after. But I enjoyed playing for Dan.
Hey man, talking about the number of great players, when I came into the gym for the first time, mind you, the only person that I sort of knew would have been Nikita, and that was it. I didn't know anybody else. I'm a walk on, a scrawny 140-pound player, no muscle on my body at the time. Um, Remembering, like, being in that situation, like, talking about being like the sponge, like, that's what I was. For me, being in that position, I'm like, Dan told me, like, look, there's nothing for you. I'm not promising you anything. You could stick around and see where it takes you if it takes you anywhere. But and I was like, yo, let's do it. And mind you, like being part of that team not only like made me a better player, but also made me understand the game to an extent where
Exactly.
like I look at the game differently even after like moving on and playing some university ball out east. But it's like understanding that there's something within your role. And
Hmm.
if you contribute to that role 100%, there's no way you're not going to play. There's no
Exactly.
way you're not going to be respected. There's no way you're not going to be looked at. It's it's Ilya, or it's Nikki, or it's like you'll be respected to a level not only for your skill but also for what you bring to the table. So that's something I took from Champlain being on that team. Like there's no way I was gonna play with all that talent. Like, dude, like I'm thinking you guys going to those AAU tournaments with Brookwood Elite. They're like, dude, we're just like walking down the airport, bumping into Zach Levine. I'm like, how is that? Like, what are you guys
So,
on? All these stories
it's
that you guys were telling when
it's
every time you came back from a tournament with Brookwood Elite, I
yeah,
was like, this is fantastic. For me, I'm just entertained, getting kind of like a new family of players, but then at the same time getting to learn and compete against y'all is like
hmm,
crafted me into a player that I thought I'd never be, without it. So shout
exactly.
out to Dan for that for sure. But talking about number of players and making to the nationals, take me to what you felt like being in that position. Obviously us going to Hamilton, I still have that sweater hanging in my closet. Like us going to Hamilton, and like what it was like for you personally, and what you felt like being in that group of players that we were surrounded by.
Honestly, like it was such a surreal moment because in high school I played for Dawson, so we always won. We always won the championships and stuff like that. And our first year at Champlain, we lost. We didn't even make playoffs. So it's just like, shoot, we got to get there, get to the finals because like I'm not used to losing like this. So when we got to nationals, it was just a nice moment, man. The crowd, the environment, just everything was just so surreal. And to be there with my teammates that I grinded the whole year summer with, it was even a better moment. Yeah, we didn't win, but at the same time, like I enjoyed it honestly. Like it was tough competition. We played against, guys that were older than us, bigger than us. I mean, you remember Mohawk College? They had a pro guard that was shooting the lights out, but like just all those moments, man, like I'll forever cherish because we worked so hard for that moment and we got there. We didn't win, but we still got there, and that's the biggest thing.
You know, you're talking about the older players that had to play. Wasn't the MVP that year from Mohawk, and it was like 30 years
Exactly.
old or something?
He was like about 30,
Yeah.
shooting the lights out, and they had a whole bunch of like grown men, and they were tall as hell, and I'm just like, We got to play against them." And I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I was a little bit nervous, but then as the game went on, it kind of like it released, but like still, like playing against those guys was a different experience because you're not used to it. You play
Yeah.
against guys your age, and that's that. But to play against them, whole different experience.
It's almost like when we talk about, even like when I was playing like out east, I was still in CCAA playing university, and I'm kind of telling those guys like, look, if we ever make there, like there's no such, like you're gonna have to be a dog.
Yeah,
Like you can't show weaknesses. You
yeah,
can't give, like you're gonna be playing against grown men. It's like you're gonna play against guys like me. You're practicing with guys who are like 26, 27. You'll be playing
literally,
against
bro.
that all around and top teams in the country.
Yep.
So it's like it's funny thinking about that. Like we were really kids going in there.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And we were a good team.
Yeah,
And considering
really
we
good
only
team.
lost by one to Mohawk, God knows what happens after that game. Because it's one game at a time, anyways, in those types of tournaments and stuff.
Hmm.
And obviously, we both know what happened. We're not gonna mention anything. We both know what happened. We both know what happened. But Andrew Trevison and Mitchell Keating were not
Oh
participating
my.
in that game, and Mitch being one of our best shooting guards at the
Yeah, that's
time, it
true.
hurt.
Yeah,
It really did
yeah,
hurt.
it did, it did, it
But
did.
it's all part of the experience. It's like you cherish those moments. You laugh at these things now.
Oh
Like
my
8
God.
years later, you're thinking like, you wish, but it is what it is.
Listen, even when it happened, I was laughing, okay? It's just like
Oh man.
how could you not laugh
Oh,
at that? You know what I'm
it's
saying?
it's
Like
so funny.
it wasn't a smart decision, but you
Hey, it
gotta
is what it
laugh it
is.
off,
It is
bro.
what it is.
You got
If
to.
anyone out there would love to know that, you might want to contact either Mitch or Andrew. We're not speaking numbers.
Oh
Oh
my
man, but
gosh.
overall, I think the Nationals as an experience for me was incredible. Honestly, it sucked that we didn't get what we wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, Dude, you should have, when Dan told me that I was coming, because mind you, obviously, like I'm on the team, I'm
Hmm.
just there. Like I'm coming to practices, like I work out with you guys, watch film. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm part of the team. I'm
Yeah,
not
you
I'm
are,
not
you
on
are.
the roster and whatever. And when he says like, Ilya, did you talk to your profs? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
It's like I
you're
know,
coming.
like mentally, I'm thinking I'm not going, man. I'm like, but I'm happy for my guys. And then he's like, come on, like go. You have to sort that out because you're coming. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wait, what? I'm going. I'm we all. I was like, all right, perfect, dude. I was so happy. Like it was crazy. It was so good. And nah, that experience was great. TJ, like you mentioned, that guy was a hell of a player.
Big time player. Big time
What a
player.
clown too.
Yeah.
What a, like
Yeah.
you put him as a class clown guy. He was him.
No, he's
TJTV. Bring back TJTV. Oh man.
Oh my God, I used to get us food from the calf and everything, man.
Oh, dude.
God bless TJ,
God
dog.
bless TJ, dude. This guy was, yeah, he was a blessing in every aspect of life, bro.
No, for
He's the
sure.
funniest dude. Always have love for him. Anytime I
Oh,
see him in Montreal, it's always
gotta show
it's
love.
always love. Always
Yeah,
love.
got to.
Now, During the times, obviously, when you played at Champlain, the
Yeah.
next year we went to the finals. We obviously lost to Momo. Um, Unfortunate situation. And then from that point on, obviously, you graduate, the recruiting starts. You eventually commit to Cleveland State. What are some other schools that were kind of showing interest based on your, like, obviously Champlain career and AAU performance at Brookwood Elite?
So when I first started playing AU was the ending of my first year. And I remember after the Brookwood Elite practice, Joey's like, "Oh, you made the team, whatever." And shout out to Joey and Nelson because obviously, they helped me with a lot and they're real. I love that program, Brookwood Elite. I love playing for them. It was fun, everything. Like I enjoyed every single moment of it. But I remember I'm like, I'm gonna take the summer off and just work on my game. He's like, no, you're not 6'10, so you should play now. You need exposure now. If you were 6'10, you could take the summer off, work on your game, and come back next summer. But you need to play now. So I ended up playing with them, and literally the first tournament we had was in Dallas. So we played against Dream Vision. I don't know if you remember like Chase Jeter, Tyler Dorsey, Paris Austin. So these are three guys in top 100, bro. And I got there. I'm like, damn, we're playing them, and I'm nervous because this is a whole different ball game. This is not Sejep. This is the best of the best. We're competing against. So I remember, I got the ball on a fast break, and I thought everything was sweet. I went up for the layup, bam, got pinned. Right after I got pinned, my whole mood just changed because I just couldn't believe it. I never played against guys that were this big, this athletic, that fast, quick, and all. So, it was a whole different experience. But over the summer, I gained, interest from plenty different schools, like Yale, Iona, Valpo, Cleveland State, and Sacred Heart. And my performance kind of like went up and down. I had good, excuse me. There was tournaments where, I played good. There's other tournaments where I didn't play so good. So it kind of like went down and up, you know, and the ones that were really consistent were like Yale, Valpo, and Cleveland State. And I remember I went on my visit to Cleveland in April of 2016, and I took my visit there. I fell in love with the city. That the admins were nice. Everyone was nice. They welcomed me, and I committed literally on the spot.
Like there was no second guessing. You just
No
gone.
second guessing. I just committed right away. I remember we were at a barbecue at the coach's house, and the assistant coach comes up to me. He's like, "You sure you want to play here?" I said, "Yeah, I want to play here, coach." And then the head coach comes out with the letter of intent papers, and he's like, "Sign these." And I signed it right away, and I'm like, yeah, I've been waiting for this moment for, ever since I was young. Like I never really wanted to go to the NBA. That wasn't my goal. My goal was to play in the NCAA, and just like it was just so hard to get to that level from Canada. You need that exposure or else you just can't make it there. I'm not 6'5", 6'7", so I'm not easily noticeable. So I had to do other things that would get me on the court and that would get me noticed, in the ball game.
You know, talking about doing other things, I remember obviously you're a standout scorer. You were able to get a bucket from anywhere on the court, whether
Yeah.
drive, create your own jumper, shoot an open tray, create a three shot. You were definitely a scoring threat. From what I noticed, obviously as a basketball geek and just looking at where my friends play, where my former teammates and my brothers play, you always were. You guys had this defensive shield or whatever thing at Cleveland State. Talk about that because you were a lot of times on Twitter. I just see Kash Thomas with the defensive performance or whatever. So talk
So
about that a little bit.
So my last year at Cleveland State, it was kind of a rocky, not rocky start, but like when I first got there, I was recruited by that same coaching staff that I told you about, and they basically gave me the keys and said, you're going to be playing this much, it's your team and stuff like that. But what happened was they signed another guard. That's just how the NCAA works, So they signed two guys. One was on scholarship and one was a walk on. So during that whole summer, I was just grinding and picking this guy up 94 feet. Like, I kid you not. Like, I was exhausted, but I knew I had to do it to get playing time. Offensively, I was just like passing the ball, diming my teammates, just organizing everyone. I didn't need to score because I had great scores. I had um, Rob Edwards that played with Lou Dort at Arizona State. I had one of my roommates, KC, flat out scorer, all three levels. I had scores around me, so I didn't need to do all that stuff that I was doing back here. So what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. So what was the question you asked me, bro? I completely forgot.
I was just talking about how, doing other things let you get more playing time, and we
Yeah,
were talking
so
about the defensive
yeah,
performances that you were
the
putting up.
so fast forward to my last year, a new coaching staff came in, right? And we have categories. So we have closeouts, we have um running back on defense, boxing out, steals, just a whole bunch of different categories, and you get rated every single game on how well you did. So most games I would do good because I would just stick to the defensive principles and just execute them. So I would win those defensive shields and stuff like that. But my role over the years in university kind of changed. Like, I came in as, a point guard, diamond, pick it up 94 feet, and then coaching staff got fired. So now it left me in a sticky situation. Do I stay at Cleveland State or do I pick up and find the next school? But I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay because I have everything here. Why would I leave? I love the people here. I love the facility. I love everything about Cleveland. So why would I leave? So the new batch of coaches came in, and that's where my role kind of took a turn. And I wasn't as aggressive as I usually am and stuff like that. So my role kind of changed over the course of my career. But what always stuck with me was the defensive side. Like, I always wanted to play defense. No matter who coached me, I would play defense.
Yeah, defense gets you playing time.
Exactly.
Like, if you play defense, you could score 5 points for all they care. But if you can force two turnovers, pick up a charge, get three defensive boards, get a steal, that's 10 points off the
Hmm.
board for the opposition, that
You know.
any coach in the world would look at you and be like, Cash, come on in. You
Hmm.
you got this guy, or this is what we're doing defensively and whatnot. Because I know this from my personal experience doing the same thing in Halifax when I was
Yeah,
playing. Just a lockdown defender. That's like I just came in a mindset. I'm like, yeah, I'm not letting you get bias. Like, there's no chance. Like, you know what I
that's
mean?
how it is. You gotta
And
have
take
pride.
absolutely. And picking up these best players, like, sometimes they'll, how it goes. The trash talk.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk. And I'm like, dude, if you shoot 20 shots to get your 20, go ahead. I'm gonna let you shoot. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. We're gonna find a way to win the game if you just shoot yourself in the foot constantly.
Exactly.
I'll take that any day of the week. Now, you obviously mentioned Tyler Dorsey, who ended up playing at Oregon, then Chase Jeter, who ended up committing to Duke and then later transferring to Arizona, and a few other players. Obviously, on the Adidas circuit, there was talent. Jalen Brown was on the Adidas circuit.
Yeah.
Zach Levine was on the Adidas circuit. Um, Dennis Smith Jr., Kyle Guy. There's so many guys that you just like, you could name, who would you say was the best player that you've seen or played against?
So we played against a lot of good players. I remember playing against Dennis Smith, Bam Adebayo in AU. Um, Jalen Hands, he played for UCLA. TJ Leaf as well played for UCLA. I played against a whole bunch of players, but the best player I played against was Brandon Ingram. That guy,
I forgot he was in Adidas too. I forgot.
yeah, he was playing for Stackhouse Elite. So that guy was a problem. It did not matter who you put on him, he was scoring because he was still tall. He was about like 6'8", 6'9", still got a handle, still got the mid range, so he would just get to his spot every single time and just shoot it over you. Like this dude was real when we played them.
Damn. It's like I remember. Oh wait, weren't the wasn't Thon Maker on there too? On the
Yeah, we played against Star Maker and his
I
brother,
remember the whole story.
but
Shout out my brother Nick.
yo,
Hey, I had to bring
it,
this up. I
it's
had to. I
it's
had
funny
to.
because I rewatched that video not too long ago, right?
Wait,
And it
that
was
video
just
exists?
it's
Oh, I
just
gotta go
no,
see
no,
it. I gotta go
yeah,
find
it
it.
it does, it does.
I gotta
It's
find
like
it.
it's like a few possessions where he blocks Rich, he blocks Nikita, then he blocks me, and he's just blocking everyone because he's just so tall. You got him and his brother. It's like, what can you do? You literally gotta throw it to the sky and hope it goes in, And I remember we're in Las Vegas, and this obviously sticks in my head because it's I scored on Thought Maker, like who wouldn't be proud of that? So I'm there in the corner and I back cut. I get the ball maybe at the block, and I shot that thing so high. I thought he was gonna get it. Did not touch it. It went right in the basket. No rib, no nothing. I felt nice. I felt nice. I felt nice. I can't even lie to you.
It's like I'm about to go for 30 at this point. Might as well.
Yo, you don't understand because, like I said, you got to beat them with a floater or like catch them off guard because you're not gonna score at them.
I remember one year as well when I was, I guess, the same year you were at Brookwood Elite. I was at Red
Yeah,
Rush
yeah,
with JJ and Johnny and the
yeah.
rest of the guys. And I remember for the Brookwood Elite tournament, Berkey, shout out to Berkey, by the way,
Hmm.
who's holding it down with the Red Rush program
Hmm.
as well in
Yes, sir.
Montreal. But he had me playing with the U17 squad, basically playing against you. I don't think we ever played each other, not in that tournament.
No, no, no.
But we played CIA Bounce the same year when they had Dylan Brooks, Elijah Mitch Rulong, a couple of
Oh,
other guys that you guys ended
that's
up
nice.
playing them in the final. And I
Yeah.
think if I remember correctly, CIA Bounce won that game.
Hmm. I,
And
I don't know.
all I remember from that game is how oh my god, I forget.
No,
What's the other guard that was alongside you? I forget his name. Marcus?
Marcus Carr.
No. No, no, no. He was on your team.
Oh no, no. I wasn't on that
Oh,
team.
you were on the U16.
No, no,
No,
no.
you
I
weren't.
only I only played U17. I think you're talking about the U16 team with Marcus, Javon, and all of those players.
Oh yeah,
Is it
yeah, maybe. Because I
probably
remember Mark. Is it Marcus Levitt? His last
no
name?
Daniel Levitt
Dan? Oh no, no, that's different player. I'm
or
thinking
Marcus Brathwaite?
no. Okay, never mind. Either way, like him and
No.
one other guard and Elijah were going at it like that game, but that kind of derailed the whole conversation now. But now you obviously D1 and AAU you played against a bunch of talent.
Yeah.
Division 1 you got to play against some great talent. You played against Kentucky. You played against Michigan State when they had
Yeah,
Cash Stanley, obviously Xavier Tillman, Nick Ward, Kentucky. I don't even
Miles
have to name
Bridges.
anybody's.
Miles
Miles.
Bridges.
Oh, Miles Bridges was on that
Forgot
team
about.
too. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
But then Kentucky, Bam, Malik, De'Aaron Fox. That was the fastest guards
brother.
combination in the country that year. They ran the fast break offense like no one else ever did. They just like ran everyone off the court. Um, Obviously, you played against Purdue when Carson Edwards was there. Caleb Swanigan was
Yeah,
there. Rest in peace.
yeah. Facts.
You played against some great talent. Who would you say? I think I know the answer to the question, but who
Yeah.
would you say was like the top player that you think like there's nothing I can do like
So,
coach like
so
sorry type of
it's
situation.
it's crazy that you say that because like I told you like my first year the summer before I was just picking up 94 feet and I thought I was fast, like nobody could get by me, like everything is going nice and third game of the season we're playing against Kentucky. So it's a whole different ball game. So, the day before we're shooting around in the Rupp Arena and like I'm feeling good. My teammates all feeling good and everything like that. But when you get to the game now and you see about 15 to 20,000 fans in the stands, you're just like, hold up, and it's my first time playing against it's my first time playing against, that many people. So I was nervous, bro. I can't even lie to you. I was nervous. And the game starts and I'm picking up Darren Fox 94. But this dude is just too fast. He's too fast. They score and he's picking me up 94, so I'm just like, okay, between. I don't want I don't want him to steal the ball because he might East Bay on the other end, so it's got to be Darren Fox, man. He had the whole package in terms of, athletic abilities, his shooting, getting his teammates involved and stuff like that. And I had no chance. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm pretty sure everyone saw the video where I think it was Malik Monk stole the ball and he bounced it off the backboard, and Darren Fox came in. Yeah, I was shook after that play, man. I was shook.
I, you, the athleticism that De'Aaron Fox obviously brings to the table. Malik Monk, same thing. Two of those guys, even now with the Kings in the
Yeah,
NBA, doing some amazing, amazing things. But talking about the speed, considering that what De'Aaron Fox was doing in college, you knew he was like there's no like obviously everyone
every
knew he was going to the league. there's
everyone knew
no there's no questions about it. It's kind of like a rhetorical situation, like
yeah,
everyone knew it.
for sure.
And then he makes that transition and he's the fastest player in the league. Like thinking about fast and speed, like he was that guy the whole time obviously. But can you I remember you brought that up, and I'm sorry if I'm, bringing that up again, reminding you. But you said something about shooting an air ball at Rupp Arena.
Oh wait,
What was?
so I had two funny moments at Rupp Arena.
Yeah,
Listen,
tell me both. Tell me
so
both if you can remember both, but I'll go with either of the two that you
I-
can.
listen, I forgot what the crowd was saying, but I think the air ball, obviously they just yelled out air ball, but I remember they were switching everything, mind
Mhm.
you, because Bam could guard 1 through 5. So
Yeah,
you
because
might
he's
as well
quick,
just
quick, big. He moves
exactly,
fast, and he's lanky as well.
so you might as well just switch everything. It causes havoc and teams can't run their offense. So I get a screen and he switches onto me. So I kind of go to size him up, but I see my teammate right there, or I thought I saw my teammate right there. So I pick up the ball, I pass it without looking. It end up in the Kentucky's bench. So I'm just like, damn, that's a bad turnover, man. And then you got my coach just yelling at me, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Man, I got the quickest sub. Oh my gosh, got right out of the game.
Was there like a something that you remember that you like did good against one of those opponents, like something that not necessarily like like a highlight, but more like made you feel like, oh, I can compete against these guys.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We played against um, Michigan State, Purdue, like teams like that. Like I held my own. Like, yes, I didn't, do that for an extended period, but like there was some moments where I'm like, shoot, like why didn't I do this before? Like I held my own, but like sometimes I felt like I was sort of held back, like when you feel like you're held back, you can't really, you know, um, play how you usually play, like you remember me from Sejep, I was scoring, I was doing whatever, I got my teammates involved. I'm not a selfish player. I'm not gonna take, yes, we all take bad shots, but I'm not gonna always do that. I love getting my teammates involved, being aggressive and stuff like that. So when we played against teams like, Michigan State, Purdue, Cincinnati, I held my own. Yeah, I had a few possessions where, yeah, I could compete with these guys, but I just didn't do it for an extended period of time.
Was it something you think that was part of what you thought your role was, or was it something that was the not necessarily that you didn't have it, but more maybe it's not the right idea to force this or that at any particular moment?
Yeah, I think it was like it was both. There's a little bit of both. Like my first year, like coaches gave me the keys, like the point guard that they brought in as well, he got injured. So I'm playing around like 30 minutes a game. And this is high level college basketball. It's not easy picking up 94 feet and then having to go back on offense. Like it ain't easy. So with him, I was able to play like myself, be like myself, like take those bad shots. Like sometimes you need to take bad shots, like it's not necessarily good, but like you need to because that's how that confidence just stays up, right? Um, but the second coaching staff, I felt like my role kind of like diminished and, I was strictly a pass first point guard and not like be aggressive and take what the defense gives you. But, like I have myself to blame as well. It's not only their fault, but it's also my fault. You got to just maintain that confidence and you got to be mentally tough.
Mm. Was there something, do you think, that when you look back at it now, and obviously, as cliche as it sounds, we all say everything happens for a reason, and the way things turn out is the way they're supposed to kind of turn out. Was Is there like anything that you'll look now back at your years that you played, whether it was at Champlain, Dawson, Cleveland State, having the opportunity to obviously play Division 1 basketball? Was there something that you look back at and say, "Man, I wish I had this moment back"? Do you ever have those moments?
100%. Like I spoke to you about cuz I played for three different coaching staff. And a lot of kids don't play for three different coaching staff, like from staying at the same school, like not even transferring, So it was tough for me to adjust, and I do feel like if I transferred, maybe I could have gotten a better opportunity and I could have been with a coaching staff that actually wanted me there, and sometimes I felt like the coaching staff that came in, the second coaching staff, not the first or the third one, the second coaching staff, they didn't really want me there because they came in, so they're trying to bring their own players to start something at Cleveland State. But I think that's why I give a lot of credit to my first coaching staff and my third one, because they just showed me a lot of love. Forget about basketball. sh- They showed me love off the court, and it makes you want to, go that extra mile for them, do the little things for them because you just feel comfortable and you guys develop that relationship. So shout out to them for sure. Shout out to my, second coaching staff as well. We went through some good and bad times, but I definitely have a story for you for my second year. Crazy
Uh,
story.
tell me
So
the story, man. Go ahead.
so
The stage is yours.
my second year, we weren't good. We weren't good at all. Like we were probably like ninth or tenth in the conference. So a week before conference playoffs, a group of us, I can't say names, but a group of us huddled in the hotel room and we're like, let's go to Miami. We're not gonna win the conference, so just let's go to Miami. Like so we booked the hotels, we booked everything, and we literally thought we were gonna lose the first round. So some of us didn't pack a lot of clothes and extra stuff for our whole stay. So we played against Youngstown State and they killed us during the season. So we're expecting to lose. We go into the game and we win the game. So we're like, what the hell is going on? We're supposed to be going to Miami next week. Like we can't
Was
be
that
doing
was
this.
that the same year when you guys had Tyree Appleby? Okay,
Yeah. Shout out crazy point guard. Really good point guard, man. But we had him, we had um Steph from Serbia, we had KC, we had Mock, Boogie. We had some good players. We were good, but we weren't getting the dubs. So it's just like, let's go to Miami. So we played against the number one team, Oakland. They had Kendrick Nunn. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Kendrick Nunn. Played for Lakers, Miami, flat out score. Played
incredible
for
player.
good coach Greg Campy, still runs the same offense till this day, and we end up winning that game. The score was about 30 something. Like we didn't score over 40. It was the craziest game I've ever been a part of because nobody was scoring. So then we played against Northern Kentucky, and this is the semifinals. We beat them too. So now we're like, I guess we might have to forget about Miami because we're going to the finals. If we win the finals, screw Miami. We're going to
You
the
guys going to the
tournament.
tournament? It's way better than that.
Uh,
There's nothing better
I
than
don't.
going to the tournament.
We don't care about no $100 we're spending. We're going to the tournament. So we get to Wright State, and this is on ESPN2, I believe, and we just came out super flat, man. Super
I remember
flat, and
that game. I was watching
s-
it.
super. And I remember when you were watching that game, and you're like, "Yo, how come they don't put Cash?" I
Yeah,
came in, I did what I had to do. Got a little bucket. You know what I'm saying, and I get subbed off.
yeah, I
But I
remember
feel
that.
like that game it sucks because I feel like the rotations were very slim compared to the normal rotations we had against
Hmm.
Wright State. So we just came out flat and we lost. So we went to Miami, man. We went to Miami,
Hey,
but I think the funniest part about it is that we booked the tournament thinking that we're gonna lose first round, and we went all the way to the finals and lost the finals. So it was funny. It was funny. I can't lie.
it goes to show that really the momentum of the conference tournament and like obviously and the NCAA tournament in
Yeah,
itself as well is like everything is out the window because
yeah,
it's do or die, and a lot of times the day that one player or two players don't show up for the opposing team
yeah,
and you
yeah,
take care of business on both ends of the floor, that's how you win those games, right? Like you see these miracle runs, Cinderella stories in every single March Madness, right?
yeah.
So but it's funny how legit ready you guys were to just pack your stuff and
We were ready. I don't think you understand. We had everything set up. Like this was when Fortnite was popping, and we were like we were just messing around playing
uh,
Fortnite before the games. Like we weren't taking anything serious during that conference until we started winning games. When we
wow,
started winning games, we're just like, oh, we might make it to the tournament, and
we might
that's
win it.
everybody's dreams.
Yeah.
We might win it. So let's lock in, but we just came out flat, man. We just came out flat.
Now, before we wrap it up here,
Yeah,
I have a few things that I want to. Well, one thing I want to talk about specifically to you and like your basketball career,
yeah,
and other things. It's more like a fun segment that I have, which I call into it.
hmm,
I'll explain when we get to that part.
yeah.
But first, now, from what I remember, every single game, wherever we went, your dad, every single game, your pops was there. So I had to give a shout out to your pops first for being, always there and supporting not only you but the rest of the squad, and always, being loud in the stands, yelling at refs, yelling at
Always,
anything that was
hey,
going on.
shout out to him, honestly. Like he's been supporting me my whole entire life with this basketball thing, with everything. So really shout out to him. Like when you walk in the gym, like you notice him. You
Oh,
notice his
for
voice, you
sure.
notice his demeanor, you notice everything about him.
The
You know,
dreads, you see the
and
dreads, it's Cash Senior right there.
and he's still cussing off the refs too. Till this day, he's cussing off the refs.
Oh,
He
but
don't care. He like he speaks his mind, and that's what I really I appreciate and respect about him. He'll tell you how it is, and there's times where I had bad games, and he's like, "Yo, you need to wake up. You need to play better because this and that. Like if you want to get there, you got to play better." So shout out to him for being tough on me and always telling me the truth and the real stuff. Shout out to Joey Nelson for keeping it real, the program that they're running, Brookwood Elite. They gave me plenty of opportunities. I can't thank them enough. Shout out to Dan. Shout out to all my coaching staff at Cleveland State, everyone, because you guys obviously hold a special place in my heart. We created relationships. We went through those good, those bad times, and I appreciate all of those moments. Honestly, it just made me into a better person this day.
you know, going back to your dad, what did it mean to you? Like, really having that support cast, knowing that you had a dream and something that you were following, and you know, like you said, your dad kept it real. He gave you the real feedback, tough pillow to swallow type of situation. But what did it mean for you in particular for your basketball career and everything?
It's dope because like he it's like another eye. Like you can't always see everything on the court, so it's like he would tell me everything that I didn't see and what I need to realize and what I need to do. So it just helped me, become a better player on the court. And him and shout out to Sean Brown as well because they're really good friends and they basically molded me, since I was young to become this basketball player. Working with them on the weekends and stuff like that. Like I appreciate them. And my dad has just always been there. Always been there. It don't matter. He's always been there for me. So I appreciate that, honestly.
Hey man, glad it's good to have that. What It's good to have support system just in general,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
feel like seeing seeing how much your dad cared, at those games, and the
Yeah.
amount of times we've seen him on the court whenever after games and before games, it was always nothing but love towards everyone too.
And trust me, like when you have that support system and the yelling and everything, it could be a bit too much, but it gives you confidence. When you hear your family member saying, shoot the ball, you're open, shoot the ball, and you make it, you're like, okay, yeah, I gotta shoot it again. I got, so he, like, as much as he chewed me up for things that I did bad, he also gave me the confidence I needed to, become a better player. So it goes hand in hand, and that's why it's super important to have that support system. It don't matter who it is. It could be a parent, it could be a friend, it could be a coach. You just gotta have that, foundation and that support system to take you to the next level.
Man, well said, brother. Really though.
Yes,
Like
sir.
you really do need that, and a lot of times like coaches will be there for you and motivate you, and do their job to get the best out of you, but
Yep.
the true love always comes from both the negative kind of criticism where you really
100%.
are told where you're doing terrible and where you need to
Hmm.
work on, but it also the moments where like, you see that thing right there, if you don't do it you might not win the game, or this is how you get better, this what makes you, what separates you from the rest. So that feedback is critical, especially
Simple as
coming
that.
from just outside of having your coaches and your teammates kind of talking to you. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of teammates, um, if there was a skill like that you think you didn't necessarily have, that you would have wanted to steal from one player and keep it to yourself that you played alongside with, who would you take?
This is simple, easy, and it's the floater, and it's from my roommate, teammate Casey. This guy's touch around the rim is ridiculous. He's about 6'6", and he's athletic when he wants to be, but his touch around the rim is just nice. It's smooth, and I always wish I had a floater. Sometimes I would, make my floaters, but it wasn't consistent, and that comes with overtime, and that was just his shot. So I wish I had that skill because obviously, as a small guard, you need a floater.
Oh, big time, big time.
you,
Especially
you need a
playing
floater.
Division One against guys like Bam Adebayo.
You need a
You
floater.
need it.
You
You
need it.
really do, man.
Sometimes.
Now go ahead.
No, no. So I was just gonna say, like, sometimes I would just over penetrate because, that's how I've been playing my whole entire life. Like, I ain't scared of anyone. Like, I'm gonna take it to your chest and try to finish with the contact. That's just how I've been playing. But there's points where you just need to, like, okay, settle for a little floater because that's the good shot, and you know, you ain't trying to get blocked. So
That's fair. Hey, you know what? Floater is a crazy shot to have.
it's hard,
It's
bro.
crazy. It's crazy to have in a bag, but yeah, it's really like, feeling the ball, like having that type of feel on the ball with your hand, just like letting
Yeah,
it go, because it's always soft.
it's
Like the moment you put a little too much, is like bounce off the back rim, the backboard, wherever, going anywhere but the
you
rim.
know,
So, dude, like, he's speaking some truth right here.
no,
Um,
for sure, for sure.
Now, we're wrapping it up,
Yeah.
we'll talk about the Intuit. So it's a segment. It's like rapid fire questions. I normally have like certain specific ones that I ask. It's like, like who's the GOAT, things like that.
Hmm.
Whatever. You just shoot your shot.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
I'll put a timer on the clock. It's
Oh yeah, I'm
give it
ready.
like a minute and a half, and then we'll go with that. But
All right.
first and foremost, let's start with the little easy one, but here we go. Let's get into it. Favorite pump up song right before the game?
Uh, a boogie. Um,
Just any song, or
my,
just like
my shit, my shit, my shit. Any song,
okay,
my
any
shit. A
song. All
boogie.
right. What's your go-to pregame meal?
Gotta be Alfredo.
Okay. What wouldn't you do before the game?
Eat till I'm full.
Damn,
I can't.
that's
I can't.
terrible
Hey,
idea,
some people
dude.
do that. I can't do that.
Terrible
So
idea.
trust me, some people do that.
Uh,
I can't do that.
Funniest teammate you've ever played with?
Oh, Sean. Sean. Gotta be Sean.
Who is your goat?
Carmelo Anthony.
I'm not surprised. Why am I even asking this? Why am I even
I was
asking
waiting for
this?
that question, man.
Hey, a game-winning tray or a game-winning steal?
Game winning three.
Okay, I thought you'd go with
Yeah.
defense, knowing that a little
I like
defensive here and
defense, but
there. You know what I mean?
you know,
If you were not a basketball player, what other sport would you play?
soccer.
Okay, if you were to have a dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
Carmelo Anthony.
Damn, this guy loves Carmelo.
That's
Why?
my guy, bro.
Hey, somebody get this guy on the other side.
That's my guy.
Hey, we gotta plug in Carmelo Anthony in here,
That's
yo.
my guy,
He
man.
gotta talk to you.
That's my goal, bro.
And one last thing, if you were to ever do it again, would you change your decision about going to Cleveland State?
No, no.
He
That took
made you,
long to answer, but no. That's a good question, but no.
he made you who you are, my man.
Exactly.
That's that, brother. That's the Intuit. You got right in and out in perfect way to end the podcast, my guy.
For sure, for sure.
Dude, I genuinely appreciate your time, Cash. We go way back. Some people don't know. I wouldn't say we really went at it because I wasn't really
No, no,
playing,
no,
you know. But you
no,
know, it
no.
was.
We did, we did, we
I
did.
mean, yeah, but it's like, come on, man, practice.
We
You know what I'm saying?
practice,
I actually have
prac-
no. I actually have a funny story. I have to say this. I remember that one time only. I don't know what drill it was, but somehow, you know exactly what I'm about to
No,
say, right?
I'm
No.
just, I'm just laughing, bro. I'm just,
So the one time, I don't know whatever drill it was, but it was in practice, and I don't know, but I went up. It was like maybe 3-on-2, 2-on-1. You know how we did at Champlain? The 2-on-1, I'm going at Kash. I don't know what to do. I'm just going in. I'm just trying to finish the layup. You know what I mean? Like make a point for the
yeah.
team. Next thing you know, I body Kash somehow. He's on the floor. Dan in the corner laughing. Cash is unexpected looking at me, thinking, "Yo, what the hell just happened?" I'm thinking, "What the hell just happened?" You know what? Let me do a little. So that was the funniest thing I've like done going against you, but that
Hey,
was it,
hey,
man.
hey, listen, I was a little stocky, so you gave me a good old
That's what
bump,
I
bro.
mean. No, but the thing is, like remember, dude, my first year, I had no
Yeah,
body muscle. Like I
yeah,
had no
it's
body
true, it's
definition.
true, it's true,
Like
it's
I
true.
was so like I was skinny, scrawny guy that's just like
Yeah,
had a bunch of stamina to run around, and was able to knock down a couple of trays here and there. That's all I did.
yeah,
But then eventually, exit. It's funny. My exit meeting with Dan was he's like, Ilya, like you don't look the same anymore, because I was like so skinny going in
yeah.
to into the gym like for the first time.
Hmm.
Man, it's yeah, we
But
go way back. We go way back.
for sure, for sure.
And
American open gym practice, everything.
everything, dude. And it's like I didn't care. You know me too. I'm a competitor. I could lose 11-0. Mind you, I'm gonna make you sweat. I'm gonna like
It's true,
you're not
true,
you're
true,
not
bro.
going like I'm not going down easy. But man, I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me again, like talking about your Cleveland State days and obviously your AAU days with Brookwood Elite and our time at
Yeah,
Champlain and your recruitment journey. Obviously your
no,
pops.
yeah.
There's a lot of things that involve basketball, but life is not always about basketball.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Honestly, I appreciate it. I've been waiting to get on this. Like, I'm like, I can't wait, to talk on this podcast, because we go way back, like you said, you know what I'm saying? So I like, seeing my people do well, and you're doing good with this podcast thing and, everything you're doing down there in Vancouver, so thank you very much for having me, and I appreciate, the opportunity that you gave me, bro.
Oh, dude, the pleasure is all mine, bro. Like for real. It's like I remember. It's funny because the first time we had a conversation, you were talking about Kentucky. I'm like, yo, you have to tell me that all that in a podcast. He's like,
Yeah.
yo, like you have to get me on, bro. Like I've been waiting. Like I remember you
Waited,
telling me all of
waited,
this,
man,
and
waited.
then I had my obviously break from it, and now
Yeah.
here we are and back at it. But
No,
again, happy to have you with us. To those everyone watching at home who was able to tune in, I've seen a couple of people pop in and out who joined the stream live. Thank you for once again supporting this podcast and joining and watching it, whether it's live, whether you watch it on YouTube later, whether you follow me on social media and watch those short clips. Don't forget to like them. I really appreciate all the love and support. There will be more things coming, episodes, where the podcast is going to be available. There's a lot of work being done in the like behind the scenes, and I can't wait to have it all available on multiple platforms. And once it's all up and running, I promise you it will be the best thing ever. And I hope it
sir.
becomes the best thing ever. That's the part of the
Su-
process.
Subscribe on YouTube. Don't
You know,
forget.
don't
Make
forget
sure
to
you
subscribe on
subscribe.
YouTube. Yeah, 94 by 50 podcast on
Hmm.
all social media platforms. I've been Ilya Kurbanov again. Thanks, Kash, for joining.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank you.
to everyone out there, remember to always keep it simple, everyone.
Jeez.
See you next time.
All right. See you, brother.